Okay, now we're back.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened then. I think we just briefly lost connection or something like that.
That was really weird. Anyway.
Yeah, hang on a second. Sorry about that. Okay, not sure what happened there with the stream, but anyway. So I can see some evidence of a short. I can see what looks like some burns on the PCB. Most likely linked to whatever had been nesting in it. Okay, well, as for the rest of the system. Now that caught my eye as something faulty. The rest of it, we've got a DDR3 era motherboard, but check that out.
It's pretty nice.
Look at that. That's a beautiful board. I'm not sure if you can see it really good from there.
You can see it decently.
But it's got all of this shroud that's covering all of the PCB there. It's got this grey shroud. It's an Asus Tough Gaming branded board. And yeah, it really looks good. You can tell that whoever got this built, the person who built it for him, who recommended this board, might be, maybe, a little bit of a motherboard enthusiast. What do you reckon? I be reckoning. Now, I like a good motherboard, don't get me wrong. But I usually don't recommend people spend too much money on a motherboard. Just because it's always better advice for the average person to spend as much money on their graphics card and their other components before they spend ridiculous amounts on a motherboard. That's not to say that you buy the cheapest, shittiest motherboard that you can find. It's just a case of, it's just a case of you getting the right balance with what you spend on a board. Beyond a certain spend is just not worth it. Like you're getting, they'll talk them up, but you know, fundamentally. Okay, what have we got up the top there? Our fan headers got 8 pins of CPU power. Got our DDR3 Thermaltake tower cooler. Okay, so the CPU power cable's just sort of plugged in here around the top. This was pretty common for cable management from its era. This is before sort of clear side panel cases became the norm. Alright, well, where the fuck is the power on button on this beast? Up here? I can hear something, but can I see something? Is that a post?
Yes.
Bow chicka wow wow. That is a post. Okay, there's my trusty battery checker. So, new CPU installed, set up. did was the button I hit a clear CMOS button? I didn't think it was. And yeah, this battery is fine. So whatever button I accidentally pressed then was a clear CMOS. Okay. Alright, well, let's go into setup. What can we see here? Okay, so we have a single SSD, a 240GB SSD, plus a hard drive. Okay. Okay. Beep boop beep. Posted before, fine.
No, it doesn't like you.
Yeah, I know. Let's remove a stick of RAM. Because it is kind of strange that we posted and I didn't do anything in BIOS and now it won't post. Oh, now we're posting. Look at that. Overclocking failed. Okay. Oh, look at this. Windows 7. Jesus. Trip down memory lane.
Oh, fuck. Windows 7. Wow. I haven't seen Windows 7 for a while.
Oh man. I don't even...
The mouse isn't working, is it?
No. Not sure if it's my mouse not working or Windows not understanding how to talk to it.
Why not both?
It's not, yeah, it wasn't even communicating with the mouse and keyboard I'm using. Okay, well, look. The situation with this one looks like we've just got a faulty stick of RAM, and I'm going to assume that this graphics card is no more. Have a closer look at it, babe. I feel like we shouldn't even, it's not even worth testing.
Ooh.
See how it looks like it's shorted out?
Yeah.
See it browning around chips and stuff like that? Like it's browned around some chips and not other ones. You can see the evidence of it.
I don't even like holding it.
No.
I feel dirty holding it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Ugh.
So yeah, that it's old as fuck anyway.
It's a dunger.
So we'll put that one to the side. But what's the deal? What's the deal with our RAM? Do I have a bad stick of RAM? So like if I pull out the other stick and put this one in the same slot, how does that go? Do we just post straight away like normal?
Yeah.
No problems. Okay. Okay. Well, now my mouse works.
still on 7.
I don't think it's been used for ages.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look,
Do they know the password?
I have no idea. I'm not even gonna ask. This was just dropped off for just an initial diagnosis, and then once I had a look at it, I was going to talk to the customer about what options he had.
Okay.
All right, so
Fair enough.
so did I fix the problem by loading the optimized defaults in BIOS? So if I stick the other RAM stick back in slot 4, is it going to be fine now? Or are we going to be back to the same issue?
It's posting.
Yeah, it seems to be okay now that we've loaded all the default settings in BIOS. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, the solution here is obviously we need to move this system to at least Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
However, Windows 10 is coming to the end of its life, so I would also technically I would have to recommend that he upgrades to Windows 11.
Mm-hmm.
So, like it or hate it, Windows 11 is here. Windows 10 support is ending, okay? There's no more feature updates for Windows 10. Security updates until 2025. Yeah. It's coming soon, 2025. They're ending it to the level like it's going to be like Windows 7. So everyone's going to have to upgrade then. And it's going to mean that a lot of older technology like this isn't going to be compatible with Windows 11. So yes, some tough decisions to be made here by the customer. I mean, I can't even. Let's go back and let's have a look in BIOS and see what we're actually running here in terms of like CPU and stuff. Alright, so we have an i7 4790. Okay, so not too bad. Okay. We'll be thorough. How about we boot to oh, hang on, I've got 11 on that. I won't even be able to do it. I needed a Windows 10 installation. It won't boot to Windows 11. So as for the status of the drives, I'd have to pull them out to tell him. But we're going to assume that the drives are okay. The cooler's okay. The power supply it's a 450 watt. So I mean that's okay, but yeah, not so much with modern graphics cards. Okay. Alright, so look, essentially dead graphics card. Minimum you need is a new graphics card. However, it's a Windows 7 system that needs to be upgraded to Windows 10 ASAP. And essentially you should be looking at a new system in time, at least before 2025, because you want to be compatible with the next generation of technology, and that will be Windows 11. Okay, well, let's get this one out of the way, because this is just a big fuck off case. Oh shit.
It's got wheels on the bottom of it, so use them.
Okay. So what have we got in here? I've got a cooler, I got a power supply, I got a CPU, I got a graphics card, I got a motherboard, I got an SSD, and I got some RAM. Okay. Okay, so now we're on to our new PC build for the night. So, got a Ryzen 7 5700, we've got a RTX 4060 Ti, we've got a 1TB NVMe SSD, 750 watt power supply, a 32GB kit of RAM there, 3200 MHz CL16, and we got a Silverstone Farah R1 case with the 4 pre-installed addressable RGB fans. So, pretty good build here. And this is this is like a birthday present, I believe. Something like that. So someone's got a cool mum, I think it is. I assume Mara is a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christine's like, yeah. Well, I don't know. I've seen some people with like names that I thought were women and they weren't. So yeah, that's kind of weird when you're talking to someone, right? And you have this like perception of them and you're having a conversation with them and you think that they're one gender and then you find out that they're the other gender. Or yeah, let's not go down that road. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Do you want to change the camera view, babe? Alrighty, so let's get stuck right into it. So we've got our SSD here, Silverstone, comes with a 5-year warranty. There is, I don't know, what would the failure rate be? Probably somewhere around like 0.5% or so. So everything's got a failure rate, right? There's no such thing as a product that just doesn't fail. In the tech world, everything can fail. So as I say to people a lot, some people get upset when there's issues and stuff like that and they have to send their PC back for warranty and they sort of they get the shits like with me or whoever they bought the PC off and they're like, why have you sold me this like piece of crap that fucks up and stuff like that? And it's like, well, you know, we don't know. We're not intentionally selling you, you know, stuff that's yeah, inferior or defective or anything like that. When we put it together and test it, it's fine. It's working well. However, it comes back to what I was saying before. Everything has a non-zero failure rate, as I say to people. And some people don't fully understand what I'm saying. I just don't know how more clear I can be. You know, there's no such thing in statistics. There's no such thing as 0, and there's no such thing as 100. Well, there is, but in general, when you like quantify the likelihood of an event occurring, so you know, if you have an infinite universe, you've got infinite like examples of the same thing. Anyway, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole there talking about talking about other galaxies and stuff like that. All right, this cooler here. So I think this is the one that doesn't have the addressable fan on it. So maybe we swap this out for an addressable fan so it can be linked up with the other fans in the case. What do you reckon? I reckon. Is it the non-addressable one? It is the non-addressable one.
This is the best fan on all the so cute.
Okay, yeah, so just be careful. Make sure you get that right with this exact model of cooler, which is the Deep Cool AG400. Just be aware, Deep Cool AG400. Just be aware that it doesn't come with an addressable fan. So that's no big deal if you're, if you're like me, and you've just got spare parts just sort of sitting there, and you can just be like, oh yeah, we'll swap over to this. Sounds good. Like, it can be a pain in the ass if you are expecting a certain thing and you don't actually get it. So there is a different version of this. It costs $10 more, and it's got an addressable fan. Now, I'm pretty sure I got this one because I would have been planning to swap that out anyway. So I got a heap of spare fans, so it makes life easy. Yeah. Who was that, sorry? Poen, how you going, man? Good to have you with us. Hopefully we're saying that right.
What if Holo was a star Pokemon?
Oh, that would be sick. How awesome would Pokemon Gold and Silver be if you had like a baby Ho-Oh and Lugia as your starters instead of like the relatively meh Gen 2 starters? Like, they're right? Like, I was excited about them at the time, but since other like Pokemon generations have been released, I've got like others that outshine the Gen 2 ones. I'm sorry if you like them, it's just my silly opinion on that. Alright, so get this little packet here of thermal paste. So the way that these things work, see how it comes to the end there? This makes a little like foil squeezy of thermal paste. So you just kind of pull it down there, just enough so you've got a little hole there, and then you squeeze it out, and it's just like you're applying it should be just like applying any other thermal paste. Only difference is you're using your finger to apply the pressure as opposed to like pressing on a plunger. And so yes, this This packet here is enough for a single application. So once you're done with this, it's ready to be disposed of. Alright, so what is our dealio? We have okay, this looks like our AMD bolts here. Alright, so we've got these ones here which fit over. They are directional. Just hold the back plate to the board if you have trouble sort of clipping them in. And then the next stage is we put this bracket on here. So a little bit strange. And we actually bolt these all right. Okay, and next we apply our tower. So make sure you remove the sticky there or your cooler isn't going to cool very well. And that'll make you a sad panda. And if you know what I'm talking about, might be time to schedule that first colonoscopy. Just saying. You know I'm right, you old bastard. I'm not projecting at all.
No. Of course not. Wouldn't do that.
Alright, so notice that it's asymmetrical there. So your fan goes on the side where there's room for it. And so it's a little bit sacrilege. We've got a Cooler Master fan there on the Deep Cool cooler. So it is what it is. Alright. So what do we got here? It's a PWM fan. Oh no, it's a DC fan. That's fine for CPU. So we can go and plug that in up the top there. As for the rest of this cable, can I stash you away?
Just leave the fan off. Passive cooling.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can get passive coolers with no fans. So I don't recommend them for i9s, but you can get them if you want. If we want to build like a PC for silence and efficiency, we can use passive cooling. So, and the other thing is you can use passive cooling if you've got a lot of like fans and stuff in your case, because if you've got good airflow with volume in equals volume out, you'll get good airflow over the radiator fins. And as long as you don't, you know, trying to break an overclocking record or something like that, you'll probably be okay. Alright, so I don't have daisy chainable connection for this, so this fan's going to go on the end of our chain. Alright, so It's now time to turn our attention to the case. I'll also remove the plastic from the power supply there. Oh, look at that. Warranty information. Do a warranty on a PC case. As long as it's not, you know, like visibly damaged.
So, this here says looking good on the solid floor.
Ah, yes. This is the guy. This is the guy who's actually getting the PC, isn't it?
And big house says, have you started the diet?
Oh, that was right at the start. Unfortunately, it was relatively straightforward. Watch back. Seriously, it's a must watch. Probably one of the skankiest graphics cards ever. It had like a nest. Something had been nesting inside it. So, yeah, happy days. Okay. Turn back to normal view. Okay, so I'm just feeding these cables through so it's nice and tidy. Bloody hell. Hope I didn't damage the wire there. That feels alright. Okay, so we're going to be using slots 1 and 2 here.
What are you doing? Fluffy now.
So for most modern computers, the fan is face down on a power supply, just so it's not sharing the same heat zone as the rest of the case. The power supply will sort of shut down when it gets to like it's hotter temperatures, but because if it's in an environment where the ambient is like hotter than a normal room, you can end up with problems. i.e. you're just in the middle of gaming, the system's heated up, and then your power supply cuts out because it got too hot inside. Okay. We'll need our rear I/O shield. So be careful with these. Make sure you don't slice your hand up. They are quite sharp, and if you get a bit excited building your rig, you might fuck that one up. Okay, so we've got some offsets to move around here, because we've got a micro ATX board in a full-size ATX case, which is no problem, you can do that. You just have to do some creative cable management, or you're going to have to see some cables sticking out at the bottom, which is no big deal, but yeah.
When I live in a hot country, the best way I control my temps is using frame limiter in my games. It's funny because gamers always want the highest frames in their games, and here's me trying to lower them just to lower temps.
Yeah, yep. We're just, yeah, I mean, undervolting and stuff like that is usually pretty beneficial anyway, in terms of making all your components last longer and get better performance per watt, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so now after all that, it's time to get the board in the case, and that's when you can sort of, it feels like you're kind of done at that stage. Not really, you got to plug everything in. Oh. Okay, so if you are working with a micro ATX board in a full-size ATX case, you might want to just put 2 bolts in to get you started, because you might want to route some cables discreetly. So I always try to conceal everything the best that I can, at least out the front where you can see it. I'm pretty lax out the back though. My general theory is out the back, it's just a case of making sure that it's relatively simple to work on from a maintenance point of view or an upgrade point of view. Okay, so I just plugged in the CPU power cable. Just route it around the edge there. The easiest way to do that. And then the rest of these cables. So we need the power cable for the motherboard. We need some graphics card power. However, I don't think we have anything that needs SATA power for this build.
No, you better put it in there just in case.
Oh no, it's not a modular power supply, so it's all good. They're getting it. We've had a couple of issues with customers not having particular cables for their power supply recently. Like Ben's Mini ITX from the other night, we had to go and find him another Cooler Master SATA cable for his power supply because he didn't have that. I mean, if you buy a PC off me, I'll always ship you the extra cables. But with that one there, with one of them, it was a Molex cable. Might not ship you a Molex cable. What was that?
Probably the fucking cat. He keeps jumping up the camera.
Fluffy cats being fluffy. Bloody thing. Okay, so these cables here come from our front panel on the case. So that's got our power switch, our reset switch, our USB 3, our USB 2, our audio, and basically all of them, these go down the bottom of the board. Alright, so first things first is our audio. It's down here on the bottom left hand side of the board. Our next two headers there are 12 volt RGB. We don't have any 12 volt RGB. The next one there is a COM port header. We're not using that one either. The next two are our USB 2 headers. Now we will need one of them. And the next one down there is our power switch, reset switch, etc. Okay, what have we got here? HD LED down the bottom, and reset switch down the bottom. We've got our power switch at the top right. And positive on the left, negative on the right for our power LED. What the fuck is that catching on? Yeah. Oh, hey Darren, how you going?
says my PC is looking so good. Yes, it's coming along.
Okay. So we got all those things plugged in down the bottom. Okay, so up here we've got our 5-volt RGB. Alright, so one fan plugged in down the bottom. Okay. Alright, so sorry about that long silence there. I was just focused. Still being focused. Okay, so that is actually all of the stuff plugged into the board. We've just got our daisy chain of fans to do for the RGB chain. And that's it. We can go and plug in the graphics card and turn it on. Oh. Try not to drop a bolt. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's really annoying if you drop a small bolt and then it ends up in the corners of the PC case, and then you'll end up hearing a bolt rattle around for the whole time you own your PC. Trust me, it's not fun. And if anyone got a PC from me that has a bolt like that, I'm really, really sorry. But it does happen a non-zero amount of times, unfortunately. Okay. So as for our RGB chain, we've got all these cables. Got this one here, that's the end of our chain. And this is the start. So this one's plugged into the motherboard, and this is the male cable that comes off the end. And all we need to do now is hook it up and tie it up, because there's a lot of length in these cables, and we certainly don't need it all. So just sort of like bunch it up as you go, and then just leave enough to plug in your final cable, just like that. And then just grab a single cable tie. So you bunch up those RGB cables. And they can stay just tucked behind the case there. I mean, you can spend a million years tidying this up, but the problem is, as soon as you have a problem, you're going to regret doing that. Okay, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need a graphics card in here as well. Okay. Alrighty, so this is the 4060 Ti. Yep. Yep. Can always do that. But you got to be able to see it first. That's the thing. Well, we just need one more cable tie. God damn it. It's actually the motherboard power cable that is causing me grief. That's a bit better. It's one thing I don't like about this particular power supply is it's got these like really hard to maneuver sleeved cables. And while it is possible to, you know, work with it, it is a little bit painful. So that's it, Corsair. What do you got to say to me?
Fuck off, Tim.
Yeah, fuck off, Tim. That sounds about right. I had to bloody... I didn't steal it. It was at a promotional event, but I had to go and take my own lucky. It wasn't given to me, but it was on display and other people were taking them.
Yoink! You meant to say yoink.
Oh, one of our fans.
It's not plugged in properly.
Apparently.
I always get excited about putting it back on. Something always goes wrong. Such a... Oh. I just unplugged them. Now they're all off.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't fully understand. It's one of the connections to the Safari is like kind of broken.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Hang on a second. Alright, hang on, let me have a look and see what the fuck is going on with this. I can't find anything physically wrong. Alright, so it's looking like a faulty fan. Alright. Okay, so that's really strange. The power's running through the cable, but it's just not lighting up the fan. Okay. So yes, we are missing a fan up the top there. If I hold it like this, you can kind of see the CPU one. Alright, well...
We'll replace that.
Yeah, what do we do?
Take the back one off.
Nah, replace it. look almost identical. Alright, so this is a little bit of a pain because this fan is not addressable RGB. Sorry, it is addressable RGB, but it doesn't have the daisy chainable connection, I should say. Get it right. It's okay, we can work around that. Alright, I'll have a look at that. Alright, yeah, I may be able to fix that. We'll see. Okay. Get it all fixed up now, and then it can be all ready to go tomorrow. Now I would do the BIOS update, but it's not a good idea to be touching your PC or stuffing around with things while you're doing a BIOS update. Okay. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas. So now we can do a BIOS update on it. Don't mind my wonky table. Oh, nice.
And he's shuffling, but he has fat pants on. Sick. With suspenders too. That's so cool.
All right. Well, I mean, the only thing you got to know about this PC is don't plug into the motherboard with your display cable, plug into the graphics card. That's the main thing. I had a customer who bought a PC from me, and they were complaining about, like, the game wasn't performing very well for him. And we went through all the settings and stuff like that, and couldn't really work out what was going on. And then I went over and I had a look, and he was using the CPU's onboard graphics to try to game, and it wasn't going so well for him. And I just chucked it in the other port and then restarted the computer and loaded up the games that he wanted to play, and it was working completely fine now with the graphics card. And it was just like, oh my god, can't believe I was stuck like that for months, not knowing what the problem was, thinking this is it. I was like, no dude, not even close.
Female horseshoe crab, they found it with a heap of line in it.
Oh.
So they took the fishing line off it and then put it back. I've always wanted to see a live horseshoe crab. They're cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not. Waiting for it to restart.
Here it goes.
It's steady. No,
No.
it's a shitty glass table. It's the metal frame. It's
Yeah.
shaped.
We got it for free.
Yeah. We need a new table.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's on the cards. It's on the cards. Get a new one.
Just, yeah, you got no idea how much shit's on our plate right now.
Alicia wants to know the colours adjustable. Yes, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. The fan that came with your cooler wasn't adjustable, so we swapped it out for one that is. And if you're looking at them not quite in sync there, they'll sync up once we load the software to control them. The one at the top there is the new one that I installed, and it's hooked up to the other RGB header. It's just how I had to hook it up. And because it got plugged in at a different time to the ones connected to the other header, it's on a different sequence with the light. So don't worry about that, it'll all sync up, and you can put them on whatever colour and whatever pattern you want.
You know the turtles from Rocky?
Yeah.
Stallone still has them as pets. They're still alive. He says these turtles just won't give up. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't even paying attention.
You weren't even listening.
No.
It's because the other fan's plugged into the other RGB header, and because it wasn't in sync with the other ones when I plugged it in, it's now on a different one. But once I load up the software in MSI Center to control it, then it will resync itself. Because when I hooked it up like how it was, it's just kind of in like a default mode. It's not actually like syncing the lights or doing anything. The default mode for the MSI board is the rainbow mode. Oh yeah.
Anything that sells Teslas would be nice. Or like Tesla.
Oh, Tesla's probably the most overvalued company like ever.
Oh, okay, it's a Nissan.
Their market cap's ridiculous.
Oh, I see why it's so cheap. Japanese government's giving subsidy to customers. Very nice. Oh god, airbags are an extra. Maybe I don't want this anymore.
Doesn't sound like it's gonna be on sale in Australia if it doesn't have airbags.
Oh, okay. It only travels 150 to 165 kilometres on a single charge. That's not very far.
It's fine in Japan though.
Yeah, if you're living in a city.
Yeah.
You drive like 2 kilometres a day, some
Mhm.
shit.
Yep.
I don't know why you waste that much. Oh jeez. Emily says hi. She says she just woke up. It's 11 a.m.
Hey Emily, how you going? Good to have you with us.
Lego
Hope
movie.
your Sunday is treating you well. I was I went back to I woke up early in the morning, and I went back to bed this morning, and I didn't wake up till like about 11 o'clock, about the same as what you did. Though I was up like earlier. I don't know. I can't really sleep for more than like 5-6 hours in a row. I always wake up after then. But then sometimes if I'm really tired, I can go back to sleep after an hour or so of being up. So I don't know. Am I unhealthy or something? I don't know. I think it's pretty normal
No,
for
you
someone
just
my
die.
age.
You're dying.
I think that's pretty normal for someone my age, though,
It is.
realistically. So, let's get some drivers and stuff going on.
Emily says I sleep 13 hours. Wish I could sleep that.
Yeah, oh man.
I did that once. I slept for like 14 and I woke up. I'm like, which year is this? That's cool.
Huh.
You see what it is, right?
Yeah. Alright, let's put down some custom desktop icons so we have a bit of an organizational system.
And honestly, how's the cat?
Yeah, cat's doing alright.
He's asleep somewhere. Yes.
Alright. So they fixed the error, the bug where I couldn't select a whole heap of stuff and get them installing all at once. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't start flying jets. Like each other. That's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be here.
You can smell where all that bug. He's out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we can install our online stuff.
Bloody hell. This dude's a pro. I don't know what he's gonna do that for. Cat's Emma says the cat doesn't have the cone on his head anymore. No, he stopped pulling his fur out, so he's starting to get very fluffy now.
No. Okay, it's all sorted. Oh, it's doing that stupid shit.
Did you ban Shrew and ban Slash?
Oh God.
Oh god. Did Vulcan Pits and 7 of 9 tails?
Oh God.
Pig Blue?
Alrighty. Horseshoes. A new kind of horseshoe.
They're meant to be cow hoofs.
Oh, they are too, because they're even. We've got something. There's something fucking up with MSI Afterburner here. It happens.
What's up with the background?
I accidentally installed that MSI ad background. I don't normally do that, but I accidentally didn't unselect it. Oh well. You can change the background to anything you want anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that didn't seem to install properly, so I'm just going to go in and reinstall it.
Sound like
Oh. So what is this? Windows was unable to save all the data to the file. Oh, I think I know what's going on with that. That's alright, we can just reinstall once we reboot. Okay, so I think that's everything installed from in here that we need. We don't need anything else. was my USB drive fucking with it then. Bloody misbehaving USB devices. Alrighty, so there's our fans all synced now that the RGB software is loaded. Now we can run some gaming benchmarks on it, do the stress test, and we're all good to go. Sweet. Okay, so we'll run our gaming benchmarks now. Heaven on high, no anti-aliasing. Oh. Okay, so we've still got issues with Reaver channel. Well, that's a bit of a pain in the ass. So it seems like it's having a problem when I'm downloading stuff. Yeah, it shouldn't take this long to download, so I think there's something wrong on their end. If I see the same error come up again, I'll be convinced we've got a problem on their end. It's just going really, really, really slow, but it hasn't errored in the same way. I guess that's a good thing. Everything else is behaving itself, nothing's overheating. Oh, this is really annoying. Alright, so I'm still getting errors with some of the stuff that Reaver Tuner's trying to download. Well, that's a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm pretty sure I've checked for any other Windows updates. It's all up to date. Download. Alrighty, that's actually looking a bit better. What do you know? Alright, so heaven on high, no anti-aliasing. Alright, so up here we've got our graphics card, temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage. We've got our VRAM, usage and clock speed, our CPU, temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage, our RAM usage, and this number below RAM is how many frames per second it's currently running at. Alrighty, so that was Heaven there on high with no anti-aliasing. Just let me do something quickly before I forget. I hate stuff opening up automatically. And so the next one we do is Valley. Valley's more demanding, and we're also going to run it on higher settings. So Ultra, Max Anti-Aliasing. Sleep on our bed. I think we've got to change the sheets. What do you reckon? Yeah, I know. I know. Alrighty, and so that was Valley there on Ultra with Max Anti-Aliasing, and finally we do a 4K one, which is Superposition. And for some reason, Reaver Tuner doesn't want to work now.
Must be
Can you go back to the? Can you just move me a little bit to the left? Yes, there you go. Up in the top corner there, you got some statistics. Yeah. Hey Goofy Productions, how you going? Good to have you with us. Fuck yeah.
Oh, I've seen this ride before.
Someone's thing's malfunctioning and they're just spinning around.
There's another one where I've seen a dude actually spin fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's what Tim would do.
That looks... I was looking at it going like, that looks like fun.
Of course he did.
Okay, so, final part of the night now. This is where we do the stress test. Okay, and we'll set this up for a 90-minute run. Okay, and we just let this one run for 90 minutes. We log our temperatures here in hardware monitor. And so our CPU here can get up to 95 degrees. And our graphics card here can get up to 83 degrees on the GPU and up to 100 degrees there on the hotspot. So everything's all looking pretty good here. But we'll let it run for 90 minutes, make sure nothing's overheating, make sure everything's running alright, and then it'll be over to you. Alright, so look, now's the time I throw it over to anyone who's got any other final questions for me before I sign off. Now is your chance to talk. Yep.
Thanks, how we do.
Hey, ladies, have a good one. I'll catch you next time.